Welcome aboard the SS Counterfactual Chronicles, your first-class express to the magnificent remnants of antiquity, the seven wonders of the ancient world. Ever wondered why the magic number is 7? Well, it's no random roll of the dice. But the number 7 was considered a symbol of perfection and plenty in ancient cultures. Hence, 7 monumental feats of architecture were picked to represent the pinnacle of human ingenuity and artistry. But why these specific wonders, you ask? Each one of these architectural masterpieces, from the grandeur of the Great Pyramid of Giza to the intricacies of the statue of Zeus, represents a unique blend of art, science, and mythology. They are relics of ancient civilizations, standing as testament to the indomitable spirit and insatiable curiosity of our ancestors. These wonders, my friends, are not just relics of the past. They are a testament to the human spirit, the drive for discovery, and the unending quest for knowledge. So hold on to your hats, because we're setting sail through history. Fasten your virtual seatbelts, folks. We're starting our tour with an ancient architectural wonder, the biggest block party in human history, the Pyramid of Cheops, more commonly known as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Why is it so great, you ask? Well, size matters in the world of pyramids, and this granddaddy of them all stands at an impressive 481 feet high, roughly the equivalent of a modern 40-story building. And now, that's a sight that would make anyone feel a tad short of breath. But here's the kicker. This was built more than 4,500 years ago, making it older than your great-great-great keep adding greats for another minute or so grandparents. This pyramid was erected for Pharaoh Khufu, a chap also known by his Greek name Cheops, as a tomb. It was part of the pharaoh's grand plan to hit the afterlife in style. And style it was. The Great Pyramid was made of 2.3 million blocks of limestone, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. To give you an idea of just how heavy that is, imagine about 25 refrigerators stacked together. That's one block. Fun fact: if you take all the stone used in the Great Pyramid, you could build a wall around France. And here's another head-scratcher: the sides of the pyramid are aligned almost exactly with the cardinal points of the compass. This precision in an era without GPS or even a simple compass is a testament to the Egyptians' knowledge of astronomy and their obsession with precision. Despite the Great Pyramid being picked at over the centuries by stone thieves and weathered by time, it remains largely intact, and is the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world to do so. All right, time to pack up your sand-covered beach chairs and follow me to our next stop, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Picture this. You're in the middle of a desert. Suddenly, you see an oasis of lush greenery cascading from the sky. No, you're not hallucinating from heat stroke. You've just encountered the ancient world's version of a rooftop garden. It's said that King Nebuchadnezzar II built these gardens in the 6th century BCE. He built them for his wife, Amidis of Media, who was feeling a bit homesick for the green, mountainous lands of her birthplace. The hanging gardens didn't actually hang in the way we imagine a hanging plant from a ceiling. They were more like an ascending series of tiered gardens, complete with trees, shrubs, and vines. Sort of like a massive, multi-level shopping mall, but for plants. And just like your local mall, it had a sophisticated watering system, something that's pretty mind-boggling given the era. Wondering how they watered all those plants. It's believed they used a system known as a chain pump. This was a series of buckets on a chain, driven by a wheel that brought water from the Euphrates River all the way up to the gardens. It was basically an ancient version of your home's sprinkler system. Except no one had to run around moving the hose. Oh, and did you know that the Hanging Gardens are the only wonder whose exact location has never been definitively established? Some folks even question if they existed at all. We're leaving the lush greenery of Babylon and heading straight to the heart of Greece, Olympia. And not to be mistaken with a winter sports competition, Olympia is where we find our third wonder, the statue of Zeus. And oh boy, was this statue a biggie. Phidias, the Michelangelo of ancient Greece, was given the task to make a statue worthy of Zeus, the king of the gods. And no pressure, right? Picture this. You're a sculptor and you've just been asked to craft the likeness of the most powerful dude in the universe. The result? A gigantic, seated statue of Zeus reaching a height of about 43 feet, which is roughly as tall as a 4-story building. That's a whole lot of Zeus. If you wanted to give this Zeus a high five, you'd need a ladder, a trampoline, and nerves of steel. As if size alone wasn't enough to impress, the statue was made of ivory and gold panels, laid over a wooden frame. Zeus was depicted on a cedarwood throne, decked out with precious stones, ebony, and more ivory, and in his right hand, Zeus held a small statue of winged Nike, the goddess of victory, like the world's most divine action figure. In his left, he held a royal scepter with an eagle perched on top. Now, here's an interesting tidbit. It's said that Phidias asked Zeus for a sign if the god liked his statue. A legend has it, lightning Zeus's calling card struck the temple, sparing the statue, which was taken as divine approval. Sadly, despite its grandeur and apparent divine approval, the statue of Zeus didn't stand the test of time. It was eventually destroyed, possibly in a fire. And now, only descriptions and representations in coins give us a glimpse of its past glory. We're off to the city of Ephesus, the home of Amazon warriors, exotic spices, and our next ancient wonder, the Temple of Artemis. Also known as Artemision, this place was so much more than just a temple. It was a marketplace, a place of worship, and the centerpiece of a wild yearly festival. But basically, it was the ancient equivalent of a shopping mall, church, and the best party in town, all rolled into one. The Temple of Artemis was dedicated to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wild animals, and the moon. If you think that's a bit of a strange combination, remember we're talking about a deity who was known to turn men into deer if they crossed her. So, she was definitely not one to be trifled with. Artemision was a marvel of marble construction, with an impressive number of 127 columns standing at around 60 feet each. That's roughly the height of 6 giraffes standing on each other's shoulders. Each of these towering columns was intricately carved, and the whole temple was filled with magnificent sculptures. Walking around the temple must have felt a bit like being in an outdoor art gallery, if that gallery also had a giant altar and the occasional animal sacrifice, after the temple was destroyed the first time. Yes, you heard that right. They built it again, making it even grander. Unfortunately, it got destroyed again. We're headed off to the sunny climes of Halicarnassus, now Bodrum in modern-day Turkey. Here is the mausoleum in Halicarnassus. Well, this wonder was so extraordinary that it gave us the word mausoleum, a grand tomb, named after Mausolus, the guy buried there. Now that's right, Mausolus was a man so beloved by his wife/sister. Yup, you heard that right, Artemisia. She built him a tomb so grand it became a wonder of the world. The mausoleum was like an ancient skyscraper, reaching a height of approximately 140 feet. That's about the size of the Statue of Liberty without her pedestal. The structure itself was made of white marble, and atop it stood a colossal statue of Mausolus and Artemisia in a chariot pulled by 4 horses. Around the outside of the mausoleum were beautiful stone friezes created by 4 of the most famous sculptors of the day. They depicted scenes from Greek mythology and battles. And get this, Artemisia was so devastated by her husband's death that she mixed his ashes in her drink and consumed them. A dark humor aside, her dedication to Mausolus was so deep that she wanted him to become a part of her, literally. Sadly, despite its grandeur and the love story that birthed it, the mausoleum didn't stand the test of time. A series of earthquakes reduced it to a pile of rubble by the 15th century, and much of the stone was used to build a nearby castle. We're off to the sunny Greek island of Rhodes, where sun, sand, and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world are all on the agenda. Say hello to the Colossus of Rhodes. This bronze behemoth was a whopping 110 feet tall, about the same size as the modern-day Statue of Liberty. Imagine a hunky Greek god statue as tall as Lady Liberty, but without the convenient staircase inside. And that's the Colossus for you. This towering figure was built to celebrate Rhodes' victory over the invading Cyprus. How to celebrate a military victory, you ask? Why, build a gigantic statue of their sun god Helios, of course. According to popular belief, the Colossus straddled the harbor entrance, with ships sailing between his legs. But don't get too excited, because most historians agree this probably wasn't the case. Now, get ready for this. The statue was built using iron tie bars, onto which brass plates were fixed to form the skin. It was filled with stone blocks to provide additional support. Sadly, this hunky chunk of bronze didn't stand for long. About 56 years after it was completed, an earthquake toppled the Colossus, snapping it at the knees. Eventually, the remains of the Colossus were sold off by an invading army to a merchant, who supposedly needed 900 camels to haul it all away. Our final destination on this whirlwind tour takes us to the bustling port city of Alexandria. Here is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. The lighthouse, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria, was the ancient world's version of a GPS system. Standing at an estimated height of around 330 feet, that's equivalent to a modern 30-story building, this colossal structure guided ancient mariners safely to shore, sparing them from a salty swim. But just imagine, turn left at the gigantic lighthouse might have been a common direction in those days. Built on the island of Pharos, this architectural marvel wasn't just functional, but also fanciful. It was constructed from large blocks of light-colored stone, and it's said that a large mirror, possibly made of polished bronze, was used to reflect sunlight during the day, while a fire was lit at night. And get this, the lighthouse didn't just have a practical purpose. Atop the tower was a statue, often believed to be of Poseidon or Zeus. So, not only was it a beacon for ships, but it also served as a massive welcome sign. Unfortunately, like a celebrity past their prime, the Lighthouse of Alexandria faced a slow and steady decline. Over centuries, several earthquakes hit the region, damaging the structure until it finally collapsed around the 14th century. A once towering symbol of ingenuity reduced to rubble. Talk about having your light put out. Today, the Citadel of Cape Bay stands near the lighthouse's original location, a symbolic testament to the grandeur that once was. Although the lighthouse no longer stands, it left a legacy behind, inspiring the design of many modern lighthouses. In a way, you could say its light still shines on. And there you have it, folks, the 7 wonders of the ancient world. If you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.